Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, this morning we have been having conversations regarding Tobago, the state of Tobago's economy, and now we're going to get into a bit of what's happening in the agriculture sector here on the island. And to have this conversation with me, I have a man that's very popular in the agriculture sector here on the island, Mr. Roland Murray. Good morning, Mr. Murray, and how are you?
Good morning. I'm fine.
It's always a pleasure to sit and chat with you. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good, great. I'm doing great.
Can we say the same for the agriculture sector on the island?
No, well, there is always challenges in the agriculture sector. And right now we are facing different challenges like, we have a harsh dry season, right? And other things.
Right. But recently, in your capacity as president of the Goldsboro Farmers Association, you guys took a trip to Guyana. Tell us a bit about that trip and how it is important in impacting how you guys do agriculture here on the island of Tobago.
Well, first, let me say morning to the viewing public, wherever you are. Our trip to Guyana was based on getting first-hand experience on other countries. We are doing farming and these things and making some connections for future development of the agriculture sector, right? And we learn a lot. As a matter of fact, every year we normally go to different countries. We've been to Jamaica, Grenada, St. Vincent, and see how they're doing their thing. Learn from what they're doing, merge it with our experience and try to better ourselves as farmers.
Right, and this is fully privately funded.
Yeah, by ourselves. The members of the association put out their own monies and we travel.
And tell us why this is important and why other associations, whether it be in agriculture or otherwise, should implement something similar.
Well, the idea came to me when as president for the Farmers Association, farmers don't really go out much, right? Farmers always on their land, and I accustomed traveling and them thing, and I realized like plenty of the farmers never really go nowhere, and it's just every day on the farm. So I came up with the idea, I shared it with them, and they grabbed at it, and we started doing it. I think about 10 years now we've been traveling. We only skip out the COVID. Yeah.
And tell me, how has this impacted the farmers on an individual level?
Yeah, well, one farmer, when we went to Jamaica and we met with the president of the Shade House Farmers Association in Jamaica, one Ravel, my good friend, he took us around to show us the different shade house and greenhouses. And when we came back, I and our next farmer decided we will build some shade house. But I had two minds. It's either to build a house or to do the shade house. So I built a house.
Okay.
And the next farmer built a shade house. And
how is that?
Very productive. Yeah, very productive. I think that shade house is like 100 by 50 feet in length and width. Yeah, and it's been very successful.
Okay, and when it comes to how you have implemented these development activities within the Farmers Association, what are some of the activities that you think could be taken on from the perspective of the Division of Agriculture to do similar activities to help the agriculture industry and the island to flourish?
Well, the division, I don't want to get into much discussion where the division is concerned and things. I'm more focusing on my association. Right?
But what do you recommend from a policy level?
Yes, one of the things I will recommend is like doing some pilot projects, select some farmers, productive farmers who really have passion for farming and them thing, who really doing a good job in farming, and do some pilot project with them to encourage them, and the youths now could see this and, get involved. encourage them to get
And when you
involved.
talk about pilot projects, can you give us a bit more details? Because we know that the Division of Agriculture, they are working on the Mega Farm Initiative. So when you talk about pilot projects, are you talking about things that similar to this, incorporating the existing farmers into this project? Explain
Yeah,
that
well,
bit.
there could be a similarity. It all depends on which initiative you take up, right? Because for me, I think like the division could be more interactive with farmers and know firsthand what really required, to help develop this farming sector and to encourage farmers, to encourage the youths to come into farming.
Right, and on a national scale, we see that the Ministry of Agriculture has a program in place whereby they're encouraging young persons to come out, learn about farming, and they are being given land and grants to start their own private enterprise. And we have here some of the students from Tobago.
No, the association
From
members.
the association members, sorry.
Yeah.
We have some of the students as well, some pictures. This is members of the association.
This is some sites we went on in Boobies in Guyana.
Okay.
On some farming sites and things to see. This is a new variety of sweet pepper that they introduced us to, Sunstar, that we doesn't have here. It's looking good. So this guy with us there, he is the owner of a agriculture shop. And this guy that is shaking his hand there, he is the extension officer for Region 5.
Okay.
Yeah, in Guyana. So we met with them and they took us around and
Right. And when we look at some of these initiatives that the government has on a national level where they are giving young people the opportunity to join farming and get land, get grants, are you encouraging members of your association to
when you say the ministry, because you have the Ministry of Agriculture and you have the Tobago House of Assembly.
No, I'm talking about from a national level, from the Ministry of Agriculture. They have the farming initiative where they are training young persons in farming and they are giving them grants. And
in Tobago?
No, in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
So I guess this is not something that you're fully aware of.
No.
Yeah, well, maybe I can send you some information on it afterwards. But what I was going to ask is this something that you will encourage?
Of course. Anything that is productive in agriculture, I entertain and support fully.
Yeah.
So long as it's productive and talk, because there's a lot of talk around agriculture and them things there, and you ain't seen the actual action.
And you see, the reason why I brought this up is because you don't see a lot of Tobagonians being a part of the initiative. So I believe that it's important.
No, because the information do reach down to the farmers itself, or maybe some of the youths, and they might see something advertised on social media and them thing. Much of them youths not on social media, as I say, to be following up them things. So what we will need is like to get that information, maybe through the extension officers and things, to pass on to the associations, so the association now could, pass on that information, go around, talk to the youths in the area, even some of them that has come and work for us and things, But for the longest while, it's just no action haven't taken place in them areas, so the youth's not interested much.
Right, and I think this initiative is called the Youth Fast Track Agro Incentive Program. But we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back from the break, guys. See you soon.
To a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates, guys. We have been chatting with Mr. Roland Murray, who is the president of the Goldsboro Farmers Association. Now, in the past, you have highlighted that there were issues up at Goldsboro, especially related to water supply. How has that developed since then?
There's no development with the water situation put today. As I speak now, no development. But as a matter of fact, things get worse because the dry season,
right,
and none of the pumps not working. They're not. We have no water in the line, so it's just few farmers that have access to the river could really pump water right now to supply the farm.
Okay, and what are the farmers calling for at this time?
Well, I believe farmers tired calling, so farmers just doing what they could do and just. But recently I had some talks, and I hearing on the news too, so I had some talks with Brian Williams, who is the head of WASA in Tobago, that they had supposed to start a water treatment plant in Grosborough in April, right? They give us all assurance that in April that plan would have start, operation would have started on it, but for today, we haven't seen no action taking place, nobody consult us, nothing. So, I've been trying to get on to Brian for the past weeks, but unfortunately, I haven't got no response.
Okay, and you said that you have traveled for the last 10 years, and you have seen how other farmers are doing things within the Caribbean. What ideas for sustainable water supply have you seen?
Well, like for instance, in Jamaica, in the mountains in Jamaica, there is no pipe-borne water as such and thing, and the farmers doing good because what they are doing water harvesting.
Right.
They are putting up sheds, and even the water from the shade house, they are collecting that, put it into ponds, and pump it back and recycle it right through,
So is that something that can be implemented?
Yeah. Water harvesting is something, and it's easy. It's something that could be implemented, and we are looking at that right now. We are trying to source grants and things. So farmers who is on the hillside that doesn't have access to the river, they could do like water harvesting and, store their water and use it.
Excellent. In the past, you have spoken about your relationship with TADCO. How has that improved?
Well, I have no relationship with TADCO, and I stay far from TADCO.
Okay, no problem.
Far from TADCO.
So in all of the production that's being done within the Goldsboro Farmers Association, none of it is going to TADCO to supply
No, TADCO have never contacted us for nothing. So
you guys are doing private retail too.
Yeah, but one of the things I want to I would like to mention about traveling and them thing and what happening in Tobago with the sales and them thing. TADCO not taking no produce from us really. I don't know what is their situation with that. So we just have to go out and get our produce sold on our own. Sometimes we have some challenges. For instance, like corn right now, I'm a corn farmer. And I had easier planting corn because the problem in getting it off my hand. Just last week, I had a van load of corn for 3 days. And normally I just sell a van load of corn in a half day because of the fact that you can't sell nowhere in Tobago. And that really hurting because we now came back from Jamaica and we went to Border Market, is on the street. Macoya Market, Mahaika Market is on the street. Skeldon Market is on the street. Nobody not in building selling, And here in Tobago, even in Grenada, I was in Grenada. We were in Grenada, and the Friday we couldn't go into town with the taxi. And when I asked the driver why, he said today is Farmers Day in town. All the streets was blocked, and farmers spread out on the street and thing. Barbados, St. Vincent. But here in Tobago, no way you could, anywhere you go to sell is police. Right. You can't sell there, you can't sell there, you can't sell there. And you can't go in a choke-up market that the ID because you have no car park, that's the first thing. You can't grab and load a corn in the market to sell during the week. So how will you sell these things? So right now I just shut down that production.
Right, but you have the food hub down at Shaw Park.
Who coming in this is something I've been saying for years. We try it already. You go in the food hub. As a matter of fact, the previous administration, they had came up with something like that they will place us in a particular area and they will advertise it and everything. It didn't work.
But when you have persons selling on the street without proper vending license and you open it for anybody from anywhere without any type of regulation.
Well, that is the conversation. That is the conversation.
Open their vehicles and sell anything.
A policy need to be put in place. And I was talking to a particular secretary recently about having a policy, right? That you could put certain things in place. Just as we're now seeing this, so you have, for instance, like the corn farmers, where we was selling the corn on the highway. They was given to us by Gary Melvin and Godwin Adams back in the times. Right? They were looking for a spot. I used to sell by Bishop's, by the bus shed, and when they was going to widen the road, they called we in and they told us that we'll have to stop selling, right? And then we find a place, and they carry different spots in town, and we go in back with corn, and corn is a thing, especially Tobago and Dubai overnight corn. Right? So that was the spot where we found, but things went out, things went haywire. So that's why you need a policy now that even for the corn farmers in particular, because corn is a tradition thing in Tobago, and right now we have to kind of ease up planting corn. Corn is where I make my money. And right now I'm under pressure because I cannot get to sell corn as I really want to. So
sales to restaurants and other establishments are not.
What we discussed in the last meeting is that we will try to see if we could have a cold storage or something. We'll start to package with corn.
Right, and this is a private investment.
Yeah, among the Farmers Association. We'll package with corn and make with contacts and try to get with corn off here.
Understood.
Yeah.
And finally, what are some of the future plans for the Goldsboro Farmers Association, and what is the relationship with the other associations on the island as you guys try to make progress in agriculture for Tobago?
As far as was made to understand, the Goldsboro Farmers Association is really the only active association right now in Tobago. We have one group in Argyle, but it's not registered as the district association, right? But we have 8 districts in Tobago, and Goldsboro is the only functioning one really right now in Tobago. So our plan in going forward is to construct a farmers market in the Goldsboro area to facilitate the farmers within the community and beyond, because what we look at, we realize that it didn't have no market in the Tobago East. So we came up with the idea that we will construct a market in the Goldsboro area.
All right. And as we end off this morning's interview, I want to encourage young persons in Tobago to get involved in agriculture. It is a viable business. It is a viable industry. And I would like you to do the same as well.
Yeah, well, I always encourage the youths, because agriculture is something that could really make you wealthy, financially, good health, because you're eating where you plant and them thing. You plant where you eat where you plant.
And as I would have discussed earlier about the youth agriculture program that is from the central government, which is from the Ministry of Youth Development and National Security. They are starting today, May the 13th, for registration, and they have full-time training cycles. And some of the benefits is you become accredited with an accredited certificate upon completion, access to land, access to starter homes, access to startup grants, and stipends are included. So for young persons who are looking for something to do, agriculture is a way that you can become independent and enter that field of entrepreneurship. So all you have to do is be citizens between the age of 18 to 35, have a minimum of 2 CSEC passes, and have a keen interest in agriculture. And I will make sure to send this to you so you can also share it among your network, because as you said previously, a lot of the times persons on the ground are not receiving the information. And this is a program that would really help Tobago youths to get involved in something constructive. So guys, we thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for your likes, shares, and comments. You can always go back, screenshot that flyer, send it to somebody who might be interested as we get our youth involved in food security here in Tobago. Again, thank you and have a great day.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.